Hey gang, Bill Sheridan with the Maryland Association of CPAs. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, by the way. Back to work and ready to keep rolling toward the holidays and the new year. They'll be here before you know it, believe me. Time flies this time of the year, right? But we're here to start your week with another great CPA story. We've been on the hunt for that elusive CPA purpose, right? The why behind what CPAs do, looking to change the narrative surrounding this profession. And this week, my guest is Byron Patrick, a product of Arundel High School and Salisbury University, former chair of the MACPA's Board of Directors, now CEO of Verify IQ, which is a quality control software tool for accounting and bookkeeping. Byron, uh, Byron's done a little bit of everything in this profession, and his why really changes from day to day. But he says it always comes back to making a positive impact, no matter what audience he's serving. He's worked for nonprofits, small businesses, clients and customers of all different makes and models. And he says, quote, I feel like part of their businesses. When they're successful, I feel like I was successful as well, end quote. And his environment in this profession has changed a few times during the course of his career. But for Byron, the purpose behind his work has always been about making that positive impact on the lives of his clients or customers or team members, whoever that might be. And of course, it all started with his own introduction to the profession, which came via an innovative high school teacher. I'm going to let him explain all of that. Here's Byron Patrick with his CPA story.
For me, it just clicked from day one. I'll never forget. I had a high school accounting class, and I was definitely on a business trajectory
Mhm.
from, very early in my uh, childhood, really. And when I got to high school, we had accounting class, Mr. Krolicki, and who actually I graduated with a lot of people who went on to become accountants. And I think it was because of his class. He brought it to life. We played Monopoly for 2 weeks. We kept the books by hand, and really understood what it was to keep those records and see the outcomes. We took a field trip to Disney World for a week and learned about the business operations of what made Disney successful. So there was all this stuff that he did that really brought it to life. And very early in my, aspirations for my professional career, I was like, this is the language of business. If I'm going to do anything in the business world, accounting is going to be it. The irony in that decision is I actually made the decision for accounting because I was like, there's a very clear direction path. I'm going to get, my degree, become a CPA, become a partner in a firm. And that's like the path is very clear. And, within 5 years of my career path, I took a hard left-hand turn and just went on a wild ride that I honestly was enabled by the accounting degree, which is kind of cool.
That's that's what I'm hearing from everybody is that, that the really unique thing about this profession is that you can do anything with it. There's not
Uh,
one clearly defined career path. It's like,
yeah.
with that foundation will allow you to do anything you want to do. So,
Yeah, without a doubt.
man, that story about your teacher is a good teacher makes all the difference, doesn't it? I mean,
So much. And when I talk about it, I am always just really amazed by the number of people who had either an amazing high school teacher or college professor that really inspired them. And, I look at pipeline challenges that we're having today, and I'm adamant that the high school is where it's at. Like we've got to get some more kick-ass high school teachers inspiring kids and teaching them what accounting is.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think CPAs like you play a role in that too by telling your stories. And so I want to hear like what do you think is the purpose or the why behind your work, right? Like, what do you accomplish day to day by being a CPA?
Oh man, the why changes, I think, from day to day, but for me, it always comes back to having positive impact. in the things that I am doing. Early in my career, when I was doing taxes and audits, I loved being able to help the nonprofits that I was auditing to be, understand their finances and make decisions on them. I loved working with the small businesses and, having positive impact. I felt like a part of their businesses. And when they were successful, I felt like I was successful. And throughout my career, while the landscape has changed for me and the environments I've been in, it's always been about that impact that I'm having for the clients, the customers, the team members that I'm working with, and the accounting foundation. I think gives me a perspective of how that impact really does impact those organizations rather than just these kind of qualitative traits that we look for typically in number of likes on social media.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, what do you, and there might have been some of the answer might have been in a little bit in your previous answer there, but what do you love about being a CPA, Byron? I mean, what inspires you about your work?
So much. It, one, understanding business and understanding what is a healthy business inspires me. I'm constantly, that person, and I'm sure a lot of people in the profession can relate to this, where I sit down in a restaurant and I'm, trying to figure out the profits of the restaurant, trying to figure out like, are they profitable just based on what I'm seeing? I walk into, a retail store and I'm looking at the costs and the number of people and I'm constantly evaluating that. And, so these are things that get me excited. And just this past week, I was at my future wife, she rides horses, she competes, and we were at a horse show, and there was a small coffee truck that was there serving coffee. And I got talking to the owner, and she just started the business a week before. And I mean, I almost missed Nikki's ride time because I was just so consumed learning about, her business and how she operates. This stuff inspires me.
Yeah, I mean, to the point where I don't know if you've got it, easily accessible there, but you want to show people your tattoo?
That's
He
it.
literally got CPA tattooed on him. That's how much he loved the profession. So, um,
Well, and you may not have seen, I actually got a text message last night from a friend of mine who I haven't talked to in years. And it was a screenshot. Apparently, somebody came across a post on LinkedIn that somebody else had made about my tattoo, and it made its way to Reddit.
yeah,
So overnight, there has just been hundreds of comments just all over the board about, everybody's opinions on my tattoo. And it's hilarious. I've
that's
been
wild.
laughing since last night. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Very cool. So, if high school's where it's at, as you were saying, I mean, what would you tell high school students about accounting? Why should they consider this profession, as a possible career path?
Yeah, I think Warren Buffett said it best, and I don't know exactly the words he used, but he talked about, understanding accounting is really the foundation of business. And if any of these kids, were have that business aspiration, they want to be entrepreneurs, they want to be business leaders, understand accounting is, I believe, the most enabling education that you could have for that career path because everything else is stacked on top of it. All of the marketing runs down to accounting, all of the product investment, product management, sales, all of that stuff comes back to the accounting. And that is the place for making decisions and making informed decisions. So, if you have any interest in that business career path, you will not go wrong with an accounting degree.
Great stuff there from Byron Patrick. So glad he could take time out of his busy schedule to be with us here today. We want to hear from you as well. So please head on over to macpa.org/Y and share your own story with us as we try to offer a little bit of inspiration to the next generation of accounting and finance professionals. We want to hear what your CPA purpose is as well. And in the meantime, just thanks for being here. As always, we'll be back next week. More stories to share then. Until then, have a great week. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.